Welcome back to Comics with Drew. I'm Drew, and today is another episode of Drew Shits All Over a Spider-Man comic book. Yeah, maybe not. No, just kidding. Yeah, I actually am going to drop a big steaming one on this one. Oh gosh. The Amazing Spider-Man #3. Now, we're 3 issues into this run, and there's something that I see as a common theme here. The common theme here is that Peter Parker is never going to catch a break, ever. Okay? That's really what this is. This isn't a comic or a story about, Peter Parker doing Spider-Man things. This is a story about Peter Parker getting his ass kicked all over the place, and it's intersprinkled with stuff that we don't give a damn about. So this book, again, addresses nothing about the Mary Jane situation, okay? I think a lot of people don't seem to understand in the area of writers. I don't think that they understand that people like to see Peter and MJ together, right? I don't think that they seem to understand that particular aspect of it, right? And it's not about, romance or anything like that. It's about Peter being with the right person. And them dragging this out for 3 issues thus far is just irritating. This is not the content that I'm here for. I know that you all are here for the content of me totally destroying this, but the reason that I'm destroying it is because of the fact that it's just not what I'm looking for, and it's not what most Spider-Man fans are looking for. And, it's funny because they talk about in the previous 2 issues, they have a letter section, and in issue #1, they're talking about, oh, well, it's too soon for letters, and then issue 2, it's still too soon for letters, but we're looking forward to hearing what you guys think, and here's issue 3, and there's no letter section. I wonder why that might be. Could it possibly be that no one has anything good to say about the book? So, I wonder. I'm not all that familiar. Are there negative letters printed in Spider-Man books? I should go look into that. I've never even considered that might be an issue. Another problem that I have with this book, actually, physically, look at this. This is a misprinted book, right? Not that I'm going to get this graded because why would I? But, it's just, okay, so this book features MJ's baby daddy, allegedly, and he is going to show up at Peter's place where the Collector is hanging out, again, waiting for Peter, and MJ's baby daddy, allegedly, is going to have a man-to-man talk with Peter about making unwanted phone calls, right? And I don't give a shit. Nobody gives a shit about this. This is stupid, right? So anyway, the only reason that we have this scene is because the guy sees the Collector there, and it turns out that the Collector's waiting for Peter Parker as well. And baby daddy's like, why are you waiting for Peter Parker? And the Collector's like, well, because he owes his big medical bill. So baby daddy says, well, how much to leave him alone? And so he pays him $1,500. Now, I don't really understand this other than it's trying to humanize MJ's baby daddy. And I don't really want MJ's baby daddy humanized because I really don't care about him. I'm just being blunt. I really don't. So that's the long and the short of the MJ story. So we don't have any development of the MJ story. Again, irritating. And then we cut to Peter getting tortured by Tombstone. And Tombstone's beating the hell out of Peter. And Peter's like, why are you doing this, man? And then Tombstone's, because I'm a bad guy. And why are you trying to break up my criminal dealings? And Spider-Man's like, because you're a bad guy. And then he kicks the hell out of Peter some more. And then he sets up a false flag operation where Tombstone's goons are going to dress up like the Rose's goons. And then they're going to go out there and murder a bunch of people in the street. And in the meantime, while all of this is being planned, Tombstone decides that he's going to give us a stroll down memory lane for why he turned into a bad person in the first place. And I don't care. I do not care about why Tombstone is a bad guy. I do not care about the fact that he was bullied. It's actually one of the most boring possible explanations for why a villain becomes a villain. The idea that he was bullied by other people, right? It's like everybody's bullied. 99% of the world doesn't turn into supervillains, right? Or organized mobsters. So there are usually other issues at play. But that's what this book is about. So Tombstone beats the hell out of Peter, and MJ's baby daddy gives Peter some breathing room from his bills, unbeknownst to Peter, and then the goons decide to go out to the street to start whacking people, and to be continued. And that's the book. So, again, we're not getting anywhere. Nothing is really happening in this story. There's no development for Peter. It's more of a development for Tombstone. I don't know about you all out there. I don't care about Tombstone. Maybe you all care about Tombstone. Maybe there's somebody out there that cares about Tombstone. I don't care about Tombstone. So again, I feel like we're just doing filler issue stuff, right? The last issue was like filler issue. This issue is like filler issue. And it's a brand new Amazing Spider-Man volume, right? Why do we even have this problem? Why is this going on? Why is there a new volume if this is what we're going to do? So, maybe Zeb Wells here, maybe he has a big story going on, but I still don't see it, and I would like to see it. I am buying the book, so don't sit there and say that I can't have an opinion about it. I am paying my money to you to not give me what I want. So hopefully we'll get around to it. Now, the other thing, I have been really critical of John Romita Jr.'s work on this book, and it's better in this book, okay? I will say that JRJR actually does a pretty good job in this particular issue of The Amazing Spider-Man 3, but it's not a perfect job. And there are some things that he keeps doing that I just don't understand. This is not a style that I think works with Spider-Man, okay? The style is what it is, right? There are quirks about the style that I think are stupid, but JRJR is drawing this style and they're going with it, and I'm gonna critique it, okay? I just am, right? We have, again, corduroy lines everywhere. We have shading that we don't need to have. By the way, I'm not super familiar with Tombstone, but I don't know why Romita Jr. is insisting on drawing these lines on this guy's face. I just don't really understand it, but it is what it is. All right, so I'm going to give you some of the good stuff and some of the bad stuff. So first, let's start with some of the good stuff on this particular issue from JRJR. This 2-page spread here looks fantastic. It's got great depth. It's got great composition. I'm not entirely certain why we have this circle here. I really don't know. I'm trying to understand it, but I don't really get it. But aside from that, the way that the depth is rendered, it looks fantastic. And aside again from the corduroys here, now we've got horizontal corduroys. Again, we don't need to do all the line shading, John. Let your colorists do the line shading work. Again, I guess this could pass for pinstripes, but it's still kind of weird. Spider-Man actually looks good on this page. I don't see any kind of weird idiosyncrasies here. There isn't really any corduroy lines, like I like to say. It's just a good, clean Spider-Man. This is actually some of the best work that Romita has done on this book. And again, it's not personal. I don't personally dislike John, right? And I understand the dude is a freaking legend, right? And he's actually in pretty good shape. I saw a recent picture of him. I definitely would not want to meet him in a dark alley after he's listened to some of these videos. So, but that being said, this is actually some of his best work, and that's some of the better parts. And I think it's really one of the highlights of the book. Another page that I really like is actually this one here, where we've got Tombstone, and he's in the shadows here. And I really think that this looks good for the character, right? So when you have all the dark shading here like this, and then you just have like the light hitting the edges of Tombstone, he actually looks like a real Tombstone. And I think that works fantastic. Plus, we have fantastic Spider-Man art here. I think Spider-Man's arms are a little thick here, especially with the way that Romita has been drawing him in this run. Maybe a little bit less thickness here. His forearms are getting out of control, to be perfectly honest with you. But compared to some of the other work that's gone on in this run, hopefully we're going to get better artwork going forward from John. And I really hope so, because like I said, I think he's a great artist. It's just that his art choices on this book are lacking. On this page, we have Tombstone's daughter, and she's meeting Peter Parker's friend, Randy. And what I want to talk about with this particular page is not so much that the art itself is bad, it's just the style that John is drawing with. People just don't look like this, right? I mean, that's more normal, but her face here looks bizarre. It really does. And again, it's like, it's a style that he's going with. So, I mean, I can critique it based upon the fact that I don't think it's right for Spider-Man, but the page itself, along with the style, it actually fits. So this is not bad art. It's just art that I don't think works well for Spider-Man. Moving on to the art that, again, drives me insane. This is the art for the kids. So this is a flashback sequence for Tombstone where he's telling Spider-Man, hey man, I had it rough as a kid. Okay, fine. But we have to do an entire flashback here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 pages of flashback of Tombstone. Nobody cares, right? I should flash up that GIF with the no one cares 20th Century Fox thing. No one gives a damn. But that being said, we're forced to sit through Romita's weird ass drawings of children, okay? This looks bad, right? It just, I can sit there and say that, oh, it's stylistic and all, but it's stupid. This kid's head is enormous compared to his body. There's no reason for it, right? There really isn't any reason. These are Funko Pop head kids walking around beating the hell out of each other. I don't understand. By the way, a lot of the kids, they have the same kind of look on their face. The super round, they got these big jug ears, and then they've got these tiny little eyes that are inset, and they just look stupid, right? Children's heads don't look like this. They just don't. So I don't really understand what Romita's doing here with this. It's not, again, badly drawn. It's just a stupid style, right? I don't understand it. I should probably go back and look for other examples where Romita Jr. has drawn children and see if there's any kind of inkling that this is the style that he's going to go with in the future. But I don't like this. It looks bad, and it doesn't belong in a Spider-Man book. We've got 4 pages of this garbage. And, again, like I said, we're wasting time on the story. I mean, again, I don't know the story, but I know that this is not part of the story that I'm interested in reading, right? So whatever they're doing, whatever Zeb is working on, this is, to me, a waste of time. So again, if you don't have enough story to tell, if you don't have enough story to fit over a certain number of issues, then just make the run smaller, okay? You just don't waste people's time. So that's Amazing Spider-Man number 3. It's short. It's not sweet, it's boring, and we don't get any real movement in the story, and it's got weird kids as far as the art is concerned. That's it. So again, The Amazing Spider-Man number 3, I will give this 1 star out of 5 because the art is getting better for the most part, but the book is a giant waste of time. It's a waste of $4. Go buy Carnage and read the latest Carnage books instead of reading this. And I guarantee you, I will keep you up to date on what's going on with this volume of Spider-Man. So, again, thanks for watching Comics with Drew. I'm Drew, and I'll catch you next time.